a quick video of how the track and stuff is holding up in the icy weather. My arena's frozen, so this morning I'm opening up the grass perimeter track, and I'm just going to go for a hack around the field and the track, just for safety. I know I won't be able to get much speed up, but it's something, and the roads are just a bit too dodgy. So this is the worst that happens, because what happens is when this very soft limestone topping gets wet, it goes a bit sloppy, and then if it freezes straight after, I get these little ruts. But I don't know if you can see, even in the even in the really cold, it doesn't get rock hard, so it's quite nice. And there you can see where they walk has been packed smooth again, so I've just got these little bits in the middle. This is also where they like to wee, but you can see it's been great for their feet. You can see by the lovely frog imprints how well their feet are doing on this, so I'm really pleased with it. I'll speed this up. That was my muck trailer that I bought when I didn't have planning for my permanent compost heap, so that's going to be for sale. And here is the top loafing area, which is the bit they like best. I have been feeding hay in lots of different places. I had been feeding it in that square that holds a square bale. Today they've got some in the hutch, because I've bought a nice new round bale that I've put in their lower loafing area, which, despite all the effort I put into their barn, which we'll see in a minute, they haven't been using very much. So I've moved the nice new bale down there to try and encourage them to use that area. I'll stop talking so I can walk fast down here. Okay, here you can see how the field is standing up. It's looking lovely because I grazed it up until December, and then when it got too wet they came off it, so that's looking fantastic. This is the track. I know it's huge. My horses don't have a problem with grass, so my perimeter track is very wide in places like here, and this is what I'm going to ride around today. I spread and mulched bare places on the track at the end of the summer, so September, and so that is actually looking lusher than the middle, but the middle I grow hay from. But my track is looking, obviously pretty lush. Here's the bottom area. This is a French drain. I am so glad I put this in. If I hadn't, when we had all that rain, it was pouring off the field and down the track, and if I hadn't have had this, the barn would have been flooded most definitely. I got a little bit here just in the hard standing where it's a little bit lower. These are gelca mats topped with arena surface, but literally it was a centimetre or whatever, and didn't even go as high as the mattress mats there. So this saved my bacon. Here is the sandpit. It is frozen. It's -5 this morning, but what you can see is, because I built it up above the ground, and it's got granite underneath. I splashed out and thought I was being a bit silly after I'd built it. I thought I'd over-engineered it, but it drains, and it's right up here against this dike, and the water just goes straight through. So we're lucky because it's been dry and cold, so even now, look, you can see it's a bit crusty on top, but the horses only need to pour and then they can still sleep, and you can see where they sleep. There's these sort of thawed horse shape patches where they sleep, and they do come down here to sleep lying down, but they enjoy standing up there where it's all going down and they can see the neighbours' horses. They enjoy standing there and loafing. So that's the trick, isn't it? Keeping your options open, because I built all this sandpit down here because it was out of the wind, but they don't mind the wind unless it's really awful. they'd rather see what's going on. So it's really interesting to keep your options open and move things around depending on what they like. So they also didn't like spending much time in this barn. So I opened it up. I took these slats out to give more light. And I took the wall down. And because I was still worried it would get too wet, they don't care honestly, I put this sail up. You can see that it has stretched a bit, but that's because we did a fault in first installing it. We did not drop one of the corners low enough. You have to have the right fall, and as soon as we dropped that far corner, we've not had a problem since. So if I had installed it properly originally, I don't think we would have even got that stretch in the middle, but it no longer holds any water. It doesn't make a lot of noise and the horses are happy with it. So this is the big bale in the hay bale. I've been hiding a few carrots down here as well, just to encourage them to use this area. And then this is jelka mats again in this area because, well, technically I don't have planning to have this much hard standing down here. I just have planning for the track and the apron around the barn. So I used mats here, but look, here you can see that because the French drain ends there, this is the sort of trenches that the water created running off the field. You can see I've got quite thick topping on top of my jelka bats. You don't need that, it's just that I had lots of this arena surface and I wanted to create somewhere that they would be able to lie down. But look at those trenches. But that's what happened, the water just came through, it stayed dry. So on here it stayed dry. That corner there just by the barn got a bit boggy, you can see, but they had all of this to stand on and none of this got wet at all. So I'm really pleased with how this place has stood up, and I'm looking forward now to the benefits of the old equicentral system, that I do have this perimeter that I can go for a home hack on. So I'll go and do that now. Frozen arena, rideable track. This tends to be the way things go. If it's too squishy to have a home hack round here, then the arena's probably usable. And if the arena's not usable, because this didn't get too rutted, this is rideable. And you know, I'm going to have to go slow, but at least there's not going to be any, I don't know, dogs, cyclists, traffic that might make a jump sideways and skid on the road. So I've got this perimeter and then up the track and back again. The funny thing is, I don't know if you can see them, but I think I can still see the tracks they wore in the summer. They have their own ways, don't they, of traversing ground. That's a pond in there. It's only just over 4 acres, but I think having a track system just gives you that sense that it's interesting. I'm going to have to do lots of laps, but it's not boring. And I haven't been down here for a while since they've been on the surface bit, so and then we'll go, come on then, we'll go back up the track. Be interesting to see whether she walks on this drain. Someone likes pooing on it and I have to pick up the mats to get the poo off it. And then back up the track. And this is hard, but it'll be fine for practicing some walk trot transitions up the hill. She's a youngster, so I'm doing lots of those at the moment. Okay.